Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyane. This morning I'm elated, but I'm also sad. I'm elated by the fact that Teffo has been granted bail. And this has been confirmed by two people that I trust very much. This was first confirmed by Meyiwa, Senzo's elder brother, and Teffo's wife. So take it from me, Teffo is out on bail. I've been making frantic efforts throughout the day to try and, catch up with him, and up to now I have not been successful. But I can assure you that in the next edition, we'll be hearing from Teffo, the circumstances surrounding his arrest, the charges that he's facing, his thoughts about the Meyiwa trial. Teffo's got a lot to say about the Meyiwa trial. Remember, this is the man who brought us the 375 theory that there were no intruders into that house. And coincidentally, when he came up with, disclosures or revelations that there was a docket 375 that said there were no people in the house, we started seeing all sorts of, theatrics. He was arrested in court, and he was kept in jail for well over a year without bail, and the man is home for Christmas now. Thank you very much, whoever has facilitated this. And therefore, welcome back to the club. Welcome back to the real world. I knew that, and I'd heard that, your mental health or your general health was in a bad way while you were incarcerated. Well, who cannot be in that state when they're incarcerated? It's a very, sad state of affairs to find yourself incarcerated, like a common criminal. And I've always maintained, remember, that Teffo cannot just be treated like a common criminal. Even if we want to treat Teffo like a common criminals in South Africa get bail routinely in our courts. Murderers, rapists, you name them. So one was wondering, I've always been wondering if those sort of people can get bail on a daily basis in our courts. Why not Teffo? What is it that Teffo has done which is so bad that, when the court looks at him, they see a flight risk. They see somebody who has no intention of, standing his trial. So welcome home, Teffo. Welcome home, Teffo. I hope to engage Teffo on the many issues surrounding him. In some circles, Teffo, people will tell you Teffo is a controversial character. But Teffo has got his own beliefs about things, and you got to respect a man for what he believes in. But I think we have to be, very professional in the way in which we deal with these things. I know that he's been struck off the roll. That is unfortunate, but some of us are still on that roll. That is why we call ourselves advocates. So it is going to be very interesting talking to Teffo, and just to see the way forward. You remember Teffo made disclosures, right? When he met Longwe at the Johannesburg prison. Longwe is supposed to have told him, a lot of things that I've covered in my previous videos, right? Longwe has basically confessed to the fact that, I brought a gun there, right? I brought a gun there because I was suspicious of the fact that, Zandi could be in love with one of these guys from, KZN, who are Senzo's friends. I had that suspicion. That is why I brought the gun there, to sort of scare these people. I don't know how he was going to go about scaring them. But he ended up, perhaps in that, effort to try and scare them, he ended up firing a bullet into the, right in front of everybody, and Senzo took him out of the room, prevailed upon him to leave the room because he was being very unruly. The gun was later handed over from Longwe. The gun moved to Senzo. Senzo gave it to Kelly Kumalo, his girlfriend, and Kelly Kumalo apparently started playing with the gun, and it misfired. if you can put it that way. The gun is fired and Sonzo lost his life. That is basically what Teffo, that's the narrative that Teffo has given us. That this is the sort of discussion that he had with one of the people who were in the house, and that this is where we are now. Now Teffo has got to confirm all those things, but we have got to map a way forward. A way forward now. You're out of jail, Teffo. What sort of charges are you facing? Right? How do we ensure, Teffo, that you are a free man? Because Sun City, I don't know why people ever called it Sun City. It is anything but Sun City. Jail, nobody wants to see him in jail. So when you are outside, you are able to consult with your defense lawyers without any hindrance. All the protocols and all the red tape that you see in prisons when you want to access your lawyer. That is not all there for Teffo, right? That is not all there for Teffo. And what a coincidence that Teffo, when Teffo gets bail, Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu, passes away. What a coincidence! What a coincidence! I mean, this is. I looked at this and said to myself, Mngomezulu leaves the scene. Teffo, gets released from jail. I'm not even saying Teffo is going to, to replace Mngomezulu in the proceedings that we are seeing before court, but that was just strange. Looking at it, I saw it very strange, and I said to myself, "Oh, what is happening here?" So there we have Teffo. I'm saying in the next episode of the Daily Fix, I'll be talking to Teffo, and there's a lot to share with you. Please stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is just one of those moments when you just have to stay tuned to hear it from the horse's mouth. To hear it from the Daily Fix. I don't mince my words. I don't approach things like, I call a spade, but with all the respect that, one must conduct himself with. But where name calling is, it has to be done, I call out names. I certainly call out names, because this is serious business. This is not theater, right? This is real life. We are talking about, the real lives of people here. So, therefore, let me just say, welcome, dear brother. The struggle continues. Let me move on now to Thulani Mngomezulu. Thulani Mngomezulu has just, left this world. So Thulani will be buried, I understand, in Katlehong on Saturday, right? Will be buried in Katlehong. And I found this rather a bit sudden, with all due respect to the family. Sometimes when we have a death in our families as Africans, usually you die during the week, like he died 2 days ago. Then we'll let the following weekend go by without anything happening. And my anticipation was that he'd be buried the weekend after this, the coming weekend. But be that as it may, let us respect the family and the way it wants to conduct its business. That is just the prerogative of the family to decide where to bury, where and when to bury their loved ones. So Mngomezulu has exited the scene, and all I can say is hamba kahle. Mngomezulu played a pivotal role in this trial, right up to the very end. Right up to the very end of his life, Mngomezulu made sure that he presents, a very professional defense for accused number one. Like I've said in my previous videos, he was always, up to the task. Whether it was the judge trying to interject and, throw him off the rails, Mngomezulu stood his ground. And you have seen on a number of occasions. And at some stage, I remember he was pleading with the judge to sort of get out of the arena, So I don't want to get into shouting matches with you, honorable judge, right? I don't want to get into shouting matches with you. Let me make, my submissions. Let me make my case. Let me build my case without you interfering all the time. But with all due respect to the presiding judge, Ratamo Kwadling, we are all fallible. We are all human beings. Nobody's out to crucify Justice Ratam, here. But when things go wrong, we have got to stand up and say, Justice Rata, this is not right. This is not right. We, in spite of that respect, does not translate into, treating him like a demigod, so to speak. He's just, as human as all of us. So that if we see things are not going right, we are just going to, stick stick to our guns and say, something is not right here. So the case resumes on the 20th of January. The courts are in recess now, and not much is going to be happening. We are just beginning the festive season. And I'm glad that, Teffo, I started with Teffo. I'm glad that Teffo is here. Thulani Mngomezulu, Thulani Joshua Mngomezulu, hamba kahle. I'm glad that Teffo is here. The battle continues. And for you, dear viewers, please kindly subscribe. Please kindly subscribe. I'll say that again. Please kindly subscribe. Please view this channel. Your views and the subscriptions are coming up very nicely. You remember we also have that t-shirt project. I'm trying to raise funds for Senzo's mother. The little that one can, organize from people of goodwill, right? To give her some kind of Christmas, so that, it's just for her. Some of us talking like this. This is Greek. She cannot even follow what, I'm saying here, and, the comments that you are making about programs like this. She's a simple African woman, she's unsophisticated. But if you could buy her some, groceries and things like that, things that will tide her through the Christmas, the festive season, and go some way into the coming year, into 2025, I would really be satisfied by that. So to that extent, I'm going to be printing t-shirts with a picture of Meyiwa on the chest, and that goes with a message that says, justice for Meyiwa. The little that we'll collect there, I'll also subsidize with my own little money, because let me emphasize little money. I'm going to, also subsidize that and, give her something worth giving. We are not going to turn up there and give her 2 bottles of fish oil. She needs fish oil, but we are not going to make gestures like that. We'll give her a real present. So next week, I'll be giving the details of, how the t-shirt project begins and how much the t-shirts are. If you're interested, how you'll place an order, I'll start doing this. But for the moment, if you're interested in such a t-shirt, you can always get in touch with me on my WhatsApp number. Let me repeat my WhatsApp number. For those who are not aware of it, it is 063 640 4329. The number again, 063 640 4329. Yeah, I hope you join this initiative. Jump onto the bandwagon. Let us try and do something for the Gogo. Remember, Senzo was the breadwinner in his family, and Senzo is gone. The little we can do is just get the old lady some nice Christmas. So there you have it. Malesela Teffo is out of jail. Mngomezulu is going. I am here. I will hold hands with Teffo and see where we go from here. Because Teffo has got some very interesting stuff. He may no longer be an advocate, but you don't have to be an advocate to give us that information. And then we can process that information and see to what use we can put that information. So in my next episode, mark my words, I'll be with Teffo, and Teffo will be saying some very devastating stuff. Don't miss the same in the next edition. Having said that, have a nice day and goodbye.